you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Wednesday, the 15th of June. But first, a quick recap on today's performance. Well, we had the first one of the day, and then obviously anything can happen after that. You start thinking maybe we're on for the jackpot. Well, unfortunately, we had a non-runner a bit later on, and I think the rest of the horses ran pretty well. The two that came placed really weren't putting. I thought they left the challengers, both of them, too late when they were going plenty well enough to win the race. The big price of the day, it ran a decent race. I think it ran above itself, but it clearly wasn't good enough to fill a place. So let's get on to Wednesday selections. So Wednesday's Royal Ascot selections are as follows. So it's a 20 pence each way, lucky 63, and £1 each way on each selection. I believe the total stake for me is £37.20. Feel free to reduce the stakes if that's not to your betting amount. So let's go. The first selection is the Platinum Queen. I've took SP in the 230 at Royal Ascot, paying 7 places instead of 3. Drawn low, I think this Richard Fahey horse, it was well touted on its debut. I think it'll come on bundles, and I think it could sneak a place or obviously even win. But I think it's too big a price. It was about 25 to 1, and I can't see that really shortening. So I've left it at SP. The next selection is Emotion at 28 to 1 in the 5+3 at Royal Ascot, paying 5 places instead of 3. This is a progressive John Gosden horse who is crying out for a huge distance. A relative of this horse won over 2 mile 4 furlong on the flat. This horse is crying out for a trip. It didn't run too well last time, but you can put that down to the soft ground at Goodwood. So if you put a line through that, it's got a cracking chance of sneaking a place. I've took the price because I think if the dogs are barking about this one, it could easily be 12s, 14s or 16s. So I've actually took the price of this one. The third selection is Tempest. I've took SP at 5 o'clock at Royal Ascot in the Royal Hunt Cup, paying 8 places instead of 4. A relatively low draw. It was a Khalid Abdullah horse. I do think there's still plenty of improvement. I believe it's now trained by Archie Watson. I think it's got a cracking chance and capable of running above itself. The fourth selection is Star of Lady M at 25 to 1 in the 5:35, paying 6 places instead of 3. David O'Meara's 2-year-olds are running well, and I think this one can also sneak a place. The fifth selection is Talabart at 50 to 1 in the 10+6, paying 5 places instead of 4. This horse is bred to be a miler. Well, it was running in France at around about a mile to 7 furlong. Well, I'm thinking if it didn't like the soft ground in France, it would have ran below itself. Well, it was bought. Well, it's now trained by Archie Watson. It was brought out over 6 furlong. Well, it doesn't want 6 furlong. Then in its next race, it ran over 7 furlong. It took a huge step forward, but I still think this extra furlong, which it runs over today, over a stiff mile, will really see some improvement. I think 50 to 1 is way too big, way too big for this. That's why I've took the price. And finally, the dark horse of the day. This horse runs at Nottingham. It's Queen of Comedy at 9 to 2 in the 7:20 at Nottingham, paying 4 places instead of 3. I'll have a quick talk through this horse. This horse is exactly how I like it. It's been peppering its handicap mark. Its handicap mark is 66. On its debut, it ran up to 64 on soft ground, actually over course and distance. Then it ran at Wolverhampton. Disappointing race, really. As you can see, yeah, slowly away, never really put in it. Then it had a break. Then what it did, it ran at Newmarket in a decent race. It led just a weekend. As you can see, it ran keen, so that's probably the reason why it didn't really stay. Well, Nottingham is a pretty flat track. As you can see, the 69 is above its racing post rating. Its official rating. I do think this horse will progress, but let me just show you the family of this horse. A full brother to Queen of Comedy, which is the selection today, is King of Comedy. As you can see there, King of Comedy, also by Kingman, full brother, rated 121. King of Comedy also started off pretty slowly, but also then progressed. I do think Queen of Comedy could be the same, but as you can see, it's a decent family. There's been a couple of dodgy performers. Obviously, Queen of Comedy is one of those so far, but as you can see, the vast majority of the family really progress, and they're much better than what Queen of Comedy has shown so far. So hopefully, it's just been a bit of slow progress. Now, I'll just show you this as well. 1 second. Right. If we just go to the race that it ran in on its reappearance. As you can see, it's a very hot race. So there's Queen of Comedy. Yep, 2 decent rated horses in front of it. Well, 3 really. Look at the 5th horse, Shining Aldana. Yep, John Gosden's. Let's just click on that one. And let's just see what happened to it last time. So it finished behind Queen of Comedy last time. And look at this. Won at Yarmouth of a Racing Post rating of 93. That is different league to what is anything in Queen of Comedy's race today. It's an absolutely dreadful race. So if this horse is fancied Queen of Comedy, there's no way it will be 9-2. I think you've got to be talking a 7-4 chance. So I think £37.20 is enough to stake. If we have a couple of winners, I might reinvest a bit more money on Queen of Comedy. But I do really like the angle of Queen of Comedy. It should be so much better than it's shown so far. Don't get wrong. On the other hand, it could be garbage. And it's probably running about the best it has done. Well, the best it will do, sorry. But I do think there's an angle where it could show huge improvement in what is a dreadful race. So there we go. So it's a 20 pence each way, lucky 63, and £1 each way on each selection. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.